Hey everybody, this is Chef Gary from Getting Hot with Chef Gary. I just wanted to have a little talk with you today, and this is kind of a little bit of a heart-to-heart. And I just kind of want to talk to you about a few things in reference to dieting, paleo, keto, whatever you're on, Atkins, low carb, doesn't really matter. Just want to have a chat with you about what can really actually destroy your diet. And I'm just going to give you a little bit of a background, and if anybody wants to chat with me, feel free to talk to me about this and see what you think about this. I still get a lot of people in the keto movement that talk to me about, why they're not losing weight and why they're still have so much weight on their thing. They're following the low carb diet. They're even consuming white powder. Hey Terry, how are you? They're still consuming the white powder and drink, and they're having it twice a day. They're going on the low carb. They're doing all these other different kinds of things, and it seems like that they're still just gaining weight, and they're still haven't lost a lot of weight. Well, that's what I want to talk to you about today, is what is actually worse than carbs, and what's even worse than sugar intakes. And because I'll tell you, over the last year when I first started doing the ketogenic movement, back in January of 2016, I went through tremendous transformation. I lost a tremendous amount of weight being on it. I followed the diet religiously, took the white powder absolutely religiously twice a day. I was so gung-ho, started the My Keto Chef show. Hi Jan. And was very much involved, and I lost a tremendous amount of weight, lost tremendous amount of inches and everything else like that. Back mid 2016, I did notice that personal things started getting involved in my life, and I proceeded on basically emotionally falling apart, if I can just be so bold. I stopped working out every day because of the fact that I was just in a really bad place in my life. I was still working the diet aspect of it though, still keeping weight off and stuff like that, and stopped doing all these different kinds of things. But yet I started gaining weight and just becoming more and more basically depressed about life. And that's kind of what I want to talk to you about for a minute. It's not about depression. It's not about the white powder drink. It's not about being on low carb. It's talking about just life in general. And the thing is that, hey Billy, is that when life happens and when you're on a diet and you're maintaining a low carb diet, sometimes life gets in the way. And with that in mind, hey Larry, with that in mind, your body functions start changing, start altering. And with that, stress is entered into the life. Hey Barbara. And a lot of times that the biggest killer to a diet, to being on the low carb diet, following it religiously, sometimes stress is what is really going to destroy your diet, more so than eating carbs. Hey Jeanette. And I started looking at this, and over the year I went from looking really feeling great, feeling awesome when I was living in California, and then over now it's almost 1 year to where things and stress, hey Michelle, started getting really stressful in my life. Hey Elizabeth. Hey Tom, is that I started gaining weight, but yet I was still in the gym. I was still following my ketogenic diet, but my stress levels, hey Cass, my stress levels were so maxed out because my life wasn't working. My diet was working, and everything I was doing was working, but my life wasn't. And because of that stress, and I started researching this out probably about a month ago, because of the fact that I've gained a bunch of weight back, and it's all in one area. Now, I naturally have chubby cheeks and stuff like that, but I've gained a tremendous amount of weight back in my midsection. And through research and stuff like that, I've discovered, you know, the cortisol and everything having to do with the adrenal glands and everything else like that. And that the stress killer of what is going to really wreck your body. And I'm now listening to other people, and I would just tell people, you know, if you're losing weight, and yes, it does, Jeanette. Stress does cause belly fat. It's huge. It's documented, and through the adrenal glands of the cortisol. So, and it doesn't really matter if you're going to follow a hey Dan, if you're going to follow the low carb diet, if you're going to follow whatever diet you're on, and you're on all this, folks, if you are totally stressed out, your diet may work, but you're not. And I've been looking at this and researching out why I gained so much weight. And you know something, folks, people who go through a stressful time in their life, and it might be an incident of stress, and you might have an incident of depression or an incident of anxiety. Those times pass. When you have it for a longer period, and I've also studied life traits, for longer than 3 to 4 months, sometimes even up to a year, all of a sudden it develops a pattern, and the body has a memory. And with that in mind, your body is going to constantly hold on and to these stresses. Now, the cortisol and through the adrenal gland, it does something, and I'm not a doctor, but it does something that having to do with sugar production and sugar storage within the body and fats and everything else like that. That's why sometimes you can be on these diets and you're still not seeing a lot of results. You have to actually work on your personal life. Now, being on these diets, yeah, you're going to feel better, you're going to look better, there's going to be less stresses. There's going to be, hopefully you're in the gym. I sometimes laugh hysterically when I see people on my Facebook page and they say, you know, they're on the white powder drink and they don't step foot in the gym and they don't do anything. Well, you know something, that's a bunch of bullshit. Because I'm going to tell you the reason why. You have a very active lifestyle, and you can't just be pouring this stuff down your throat and magically just have this stuff just pour off your body. You got to be doing something, okay? You got to be doing something. You're either out walking a few miles a day, you're either in the gym a couple hours a day, you're doing a bunch of different things, but you're maintaining a very active lifestyle. Now, one sure way to help the adrenal gland. And yes, Dan, I was going to talk about that in just a minute. So Dan just posted something, and I want you guys to read it about stress. Now, look up cortisol and the adrenal glands on how it affects diets and everything else like that. There actually is lists of you discovering if you are having a problem like this, especially if you're over the age of 40. If you're over the age of 40, especially if, you know, men or women, you go through the menopause and you go through hormonal changes and everything. Men, you go through menopause, or if you want to call it that, and your body changes too. And you gain weight really, really easy in your midsection. Research it out. If you're having problems sleeping, or if you get sleep and it's not restful sleep, you could have an issue. If you're gaining weight, or you have if you have a good amount of weight stuck in your midsection, you could have a serious problem. And there's a list of a few other things. Okay, research that out. It's really, really important, folks, especially if you're not getting results on your diet. Okay, and trying to turn this ketogenic, paleo, Atkins, low carb thing within your lifestyle. I want to talk about one other thing that's really, 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 really important. I want to talk about life fingerprints. If you are a person who's not seeing a lot of results, or if you are seeing great results, and then if you happen to fall back and you're going through weight loss really, really quick like me. I was just a chubby kid. I was a chubby adult until about a year and a half ago when I started in ketogenics and lost all my weight. Then life kicked in, things got in the way. I didn't take my full new lifestyle of ketogenics completely seriously because I was having some emotional things going on. And then all of a sudden I gained my weight back. All my stresses returned. There's no joy. There's no happiness. I'm not laughing. I'm not enjoying myself. Matter of fact, I wasn't even cooking. And if I don't cook, something's seriously wrong. And I started looking at this, and I started looking at life fingerprint. If you have a past of your life, hey Ryan, if you have a life of your past where you were overweight and you have bad eating habits and you're not in that mode, it takes a long time to build a new fingerprint for your body. It doesn't take 6 weeks. It doesn't take one diet or one lifestyle change to be able to alter that for your body to have a memory. See, your body has a memory of how it has always run. Okay? You have to maintain that aspect of new life in order for your body to get the new fingerprint. Okay? So if something goes wrong and boom, all of a sudden you're back to gaining weight again and life isn't working, it's completely understood. Taking the powder drink twice a day and eating low carb is not going to do it. Okay? It's removing stress from your life. It's getting your cortisol levels down. It's maintaining a healthy workout program, relieving stress. Go and watch comedy movies, laugh, enjoy people you're going to be with, and just choose to enjoy life. I've spent the last year and a half basically being miserable. And the result of that is my stress levels have maxed out and I've gained weight back. And it's the one thing I said I was never going to do when I was going to start the ketogenic diet. And I worked on my diet. But the one thing I didn't work on was my stress, of bringing joy into my life, of working those aspects of my life that would make me happy. And you can have a small waist and low body fat. Hi Wendy, and hi Kim, and of low body fat and be trim and be great and healthy, but your interior heart and mind are a freaking disaster, and your stress level can be huge. Well, folks, that's not living successfully, and that's not part of the reason why we're in this diet. We're here to be part of improving our lives. So, how do you make that work? I have a project for everybody. If you are overweight, look at your life fingerprint. If you have a past of being out of shape, of being heavy, of eating unhealthy, and now all of a sudden you're in low carb and you're doing keto, paleo, Atkins, it doesn't matter. And you're seeing great results. And if something happens, a hiccup of life, and all of a sudden you start gaining weight again, especially in your midsections, you have to look at your cortisol levels. And if you're starting in this diet and you're doing it and you're saying, I can't stand the way I look, I want to adjust everything, one of the first things you got to do is look at your heart and look at your mind and start adjusting the stress. You may have a crazy stressful job. You need to start working on ways to reduce that stress because of the fact it's going to bring your cortisol level down. So do a study of the cortisol levels and your adrenal glands. If you have to go talk to a doctor, I heard that they have some tests. I might even go see my doctor and find out. But most of all, it's consistency. In the middle of that stressful point, when your body is harboring all of this stuff that you're consuming and building more stress and holding on to the sugars and doing these kind of things, you have to maintain an exercise program, and you have to, boy, that's a really loud motorcycle. You have to maintain ways of keeping your stress levels lower. And if you can do that, and you can work on a yoga, meditation, exercise each day, get out and walk, get to a gym, even if you're only going to do the treadmill for 20 minutes a day. Do something. Come home after work if you're so stressed and throw in a great comedy. Get yourself to laugh. You know, laughing, it heals so many things. And you know something, folks? You're going to see those levels start to reduce. Do not accept the fact that you have to have stress in your life. Do not accept the fact that you have to carry heavy weight around yourself. I'm just coming into understanding this. I think I'm pretty knowledgeable in the low-carb diet and how all this works. And I've seen it work. But it wasn't enough. I had to do a study of cortisol and the adrenal gland. And now I'm totally redoing and starting to look at how I do my diet and how I approach my diet and what I eat and being able to work it from that level. Okay? So my friends, one more prime example, and I want to give you an example. There's a guy that's now pretty big in the keto movement. He was a bodybuilder, had an amazing physique. He took 1 year and went off his exercise program, gained a ton of weight. People that are in the keto movement know who I'm talking about. Really great looking guy, amazing body. Then he went for a year and totally gained a bunch of weight. Then he went back to his healthy lifestyle of low carb, exercise, and regained his whole body back. Remember how I was talking about a fingerprint of weight loss and everything else like that? Well, he's a prime example of it. The man had a fingerprint of great health. He had a fingerprint of exercise. He had a fingerprint of working out. That fingerprint was in place. He went off of it. Then when he went back on it a year later, that memory was still there within the body. That memory was still in the body, and he was able to revert back to that actually pretty quickly. Not saying he didn't have any struggles, because I'm sure he did. But I will tell you that it was able, when you're dealing with the fingerprint of the body, of how the body memory works when it comes to weight loss and genetics, it works if you were healthy before, and then if you went back and you went off your diet, gained weight, you can actually, your body will have memory to recover more quickly. If you were unhealthy, had ate improperly, didn't have an exercise program, didn't do this, didn't do that, went on a diet, saw results, had a hiccup of life, gained weight back, feeling terrible again, your body is going to revert back because there's a fingerprint there. It has a memory. So all I'm saying is, folks, is study cortisol, study the adrenal glands. Go online, there's a ton of information, all right? Look at where the key points are, where those levels are. Look at your life, examine it honestly, and then look at where you think you might have stress. I didn't think I was stressed. I didn't. But folks, I was, and I gained a lot of weight back. I've gained back almost 35 pounds. And folks, it's all in my midsection. And folks, 95% of it is the fact that my stress levels, I wasn't seeking joy in my life. Notice what I said. I wasn't seeking joy. Okay? I stopped working out. I found my life being mediocre again. All right? So pursue after that. Build a new fingerprint for your life. If you're on, and especially if you have high stress in your life, start working on studying yourself. Research out how to eliminate those stress levels in your life and bringing your cortisone level. I forgot how to say the word. I said it earlier. Those levels of the adrenal glands down, so that way your body can function better. So it's not going to hold on to the sugars. It's not going to hold on to the fats. Folks, this is really, really important. And I wanted to share that with you, okay? We got to build new fingerprints in order to become healthier. And you got to do it with your kids. Start your kids on a new fingerprint now, okay? Because your body has a memory, Okay, it's like the same way when you see guys that, like I said, go to the gym and stuff like that, and they take time off, and boom, they can get right back in the gym and they're right back at their thing, because the body has a memory. The body has a memory toward unhealthy lifestyle too. Okay, so don't fall into that trap, and don't beat yourself up if you're on a diet, if you're in the low carb diet, or you're taking the drinks and you're not losing weight like you want to. Okay, and you're not, don't stress yourself out. Being on a diet is one of the most stressful things you can be on. Replace the stress with joy. Okay, find joy in the journey. All right, and that's going to be a huge aspect of it. So my friends, I just wanted to share this little bit with you. Okay, and I'm going to look at doing a lifestyle change, but I'm going to do a lifestyle change of the heart and the mind. And then I'm going to allow my body to be able to come into it. And I probably will guarantee you, I'm going to start losing weight again. And I'm going to get back to where I was a year ago. And I'm going to now take all those little key aspects of the problem with the cortisol and then the adrenal glands, and I'm going to print those out. And I'm going to start going through each one and start working on all those areas of bringing joy into my life and allowing the diet to become a lifestyle. Allow a new fingerprint. We're building new fingerprints, friends. It's new fingerprints, okay? Allow the old fingerprints to be burned off from unhealthy living, unhealthy lifestyles. Allow the new ones to come about. And it's only through consistency and, folks, a hell of a lot of time. It's not going to take 6 months to build a new fingerprint. It takes years. A bodybuilder doesn't become a bodybuilder in 1 week. It's years of work and years of practice. Okay? So let's start a new journey. Getting hot with Chef Gary and burning out stress from your life. Okay, my friends? Well, folks, I've absolutely enjoyed chatting with you. I'm hopefully going to be doing some shows this week. I'm hoping. Work has been kind of busy. And been doing my sales job and also doing some cooking and doing that there. And folks, remove the stress. Don't stress out, because I'm going to tell you something. When you're stressed, STRESSED, reverse it around and it spells desserts. Okay? And when you're stressed, what's the one thing you want is sugar. Okay? So don't get stressed. All right, friends, I love y'all, and I'll talk to y'all very, very soon.